Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the 2014 season of An Englishman in San Diego vlogs. This is a series of videos leading up to San Diego Comic-Con 2014, happening in California this July. My name's Leonard. I'm a 40-plus-year-old DJ living and working in the north of England. I live in a town called Cleckheaton in between Leeds and Bradford in Yorkshire. I'm a card-carrying nerd. I like my sci-fi, I like my comic books, I like my genre TV and movies, comic book movies. I even did a bit of Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I like pretty much everything that's covered at San Diego Comic-Con, which is a massive convention for the celebration of popular arts that happens in San Diego every year in July. Now, it's been an interesting year, and indeed it was an interesting Comic-Con last year. Just to explain why, if you were watching those vlogs, they did come to a bit of an abrupt halt. The idea was, I started them in July last year. I was going to actually start this series of vlogs this year in the same field which I did episode 1 of last year's. However, that was July when it was nice and sunny and summertime. It's now the 2nd of April 2014, which means it's very cold, it's very grey, and it's very overcast. So why am I starting these vlogs so early? I'll come back to that as well. Last year, I started the vlogs in July in the 6 weeks leading up to San Diego Comic-Con. The idea being that I would then do a daily vlog at the con every day while I was there. I was there from Sunday through to Sunday. Now, the vlogs themselves, I think, I am very proud of them, and I hope you enjoyed them last year. I hope you found them useful. I hope you found them informative. I hope you found them entertaining. However, the idea to do a vlog every day in Comic-Con came to a halt on preview night, which was a very eventful day for us, myself and my wife Caroline. We started the day and every other, like we have done for cons years gone by, which is we met up with the online community, a couple of friends from the Friends of CCI forum, from the online boards, just a nice little get together where we had a bit of breakfast and started the day, and indeed the con right, because one thing, if you've not been to San Diego Comic-Con, you soon find out that it's very much, I describe it like a 4-day marathon at sprint level. It can take it out of you. So a good breakfast is always recommended. This was at the Broken Yoke. We all got together and had a great time. However, we then made our way down to the convention centre, and that's when I kind of got separated from the pack, because I was working as a volunteer staff member last year. So I was technically with a staff badge. So I couldn't actually queue with my wife, who queued up for preview night. So I kind of sat on the convention centre steps and had a bit of an interesting moment myself when I found myself coming across a rather jet-lagged looking, rather tired, rather bewildered looking Scotsman with flip-flops and shorts and that rather pink glow of a European that's just stepped off the plane. Wandering around looking rather kind of lost and confused. And it was Stephen Moffat, the showrunner and chief writer for Doctor Who, which was a nice little moment. So that was rather cool. But we then went and enjoyed preview night, and then in the evening caught up with the rest of the UK attendees. I also run the Facebook Comic-Con UK attendees group, which is something which I talked a lot last year, and I'll talk about again this year, because we have grown in number. It's a subtitled group, subtitled The British Invasion Spirit of '86, because it takes as its cue the influx of artists and talent that came from the UK to the US comics industry in the mid-80s, such as Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, Brian Boland, some amazing talent that was homegrown from the UK that was cherry-picked for the US, so it's taken its cue from that. We had a fantastic evening. It was certainly one of the highlights of the meetups for the UK group is certainly one of the highlights for me, because it's great to see that coming together of enthusiastic UK attendees, because I feel that we make up the international part of Comic-Con International, so it's certainly something that's dear to my heart. Drinks were downed, talk was made, banter was given and taken. It was a great evening. However, I was working as volunteer staff the next day, rather early. And of course, day one of con, Caroline wanted to get in there pretty much from the moment the doors opened. So we left around 10:30 and started making our way up to the condo where we were staying. And about halfway there, Caroline stepped off a curb, her ankle rolled, and she went flying. She not only gave out this god-awful scream of pain, but she just threw me this look of fear and concern, because she just knew that it wasn't just a sprain, it wasn't something simple. This was serious. We were lucky to be staying with some fantastic people in our condo, who we made friends with over the cons of previous years. And one of them, Khan, was an absolute godsend that night and drove us to Mount Sinai Hospital, where we had Caroline looked at and x-rayed and discovered there was a rather severe break running up her leg from her ankle. It wasn't going to be an easy set, and it certainly wasn't just going to sort itself out over a couple of weeks. She was booted, she was strapped and dosed with a lot of painkillers, which pretty much meant on the Thursday she spent all day in bed, pretty much doped to the gills. We tried our best to enjoy the con as we could. Caroline on the Friday hobbled her way down to the convention centre, got herself to the disabled services, who, by the way, I will gladly help anybody with any advice for disabled services and sing their praises, because they do an absolutely fantastic job down there. I know a lot of people do have some gripes and issues with disabled services, not from this corner. They were a bunch of angels down there, fantastic crew. But she managed to get her way round the convention centre while I was working upstairs in the how-to room, in one of the artist alley rooms upstairs. It did absolutely break her, however, so on Saturday she couldn't even get out of bed. So the day that we intended to spend in Hall H, and indeed we intended to queue up overnight, was out of the question. And I pretty much enjoyed the Hall H revelations via social media next to my wife. We tried our best on the Sunday as well, but that was a case of just hobbling around. So it certainly wasn't the con that we wanted in 2013, and that's why the vlogs came to a bit of an abrupt stop on preview night, and we apologise for that. That hopefully will not happen in 2014. The plan is to actually just wrap Caroline in a ball of wrapping paper, of bubble wrap, and just basically roll her around the con. That's the basic plan for 2014. The vlogs will cover, between now and July, things that you want me to cover. Do mention down in the comments anything that you want me to discuss. Any off-site events, any revelations or announcements of guests or films or speculations. Let's get involved. Get in contact with us and we'll try and cover it. I'll try and keep them under 15 minutes each week, and I'll launch them and I'll upload them on a Tuesday. However, they're not going to be the only pieces of video that I'm going to be uploading each week. Something that I'm going to be starting on Thursday, and I'm recording and videoing now, is something called Bye Bye Comic Book Guy. I'm not exactly in the finest physical shape of my life. It's something that I don't particularly enjoy. I've promised myself that this year I'm going to get into some kind of shape. It's all pudgy around the middle and there's no upper body strength. Your typical nerd physique, I'm afraid. So, this is a series of videos, Bye Bye Comic Book Guy, where we're going to look at a diet which I started on Monday, and some simple exercise regimes which allows us to just get into some kind of shape for the marathon, which is San Diego Comic-Con. I'm hoping to get some third-party help and advice as well. I've been speaking to Jeff Mueller from The Mighty Jerd, which is a website dedicated just to getting nerds fit, which I think is a fantastic site. And also I've been speaking to one or two snacking companies, those snack box companies. Getting in contact with one or two of those, and hopefully they'll help us in sponsorship and also with some advice for snacking tips. So that's something that's going to be launched on Thursday every week. Bye Bye Comic Book Guy. We've got 3 months to try and turn this piece of flab and floppy bits into something a little bit more robust for Comic-Con. The other piece of video is going to be something live. It happens on a Friday and it's called On a Couch with an Englishman in San Diego, and it's going to take place right here on this couch. It's going to happen at 5:30 GMT on a Friday as a Google Plus Hangout. It can be viewed on YouTube, but you can also interact with us in the comments on YouTube and on the Google Plus event page. Do join in. I'm also going to hopefully try and get some guests from the online community to join in live. I'm certain if they tweet me that they're free, I can send an invite to them and get them involved. If there's any questions that you want to have asked and have answered about San Diego Comic-Con, do let us know. And we'll try and get this interactive ball rolling on Friday, 5:30 GMT as of this week. It may just be 20 minutes of me talking to camera, just kind of twiddling my thumbs. Or it could turn into a really in-depth discussion about help and advice or anything that you want to talk about con. And I think it could turn into something rather interesting. That's this Friday at 5:30 on the couch with an Englishman in San Diego. Don't forget, if you want to have a look at last year's vlogs, you're more than welcome to do so. I'll put all the relevant bits and pieces down below in the comments, and you can also subscribe here, which is hopefully is a little, I'll put a square up there in the annotations. You're more than welcome to click on that. Do subscribe, do spread the word and let people know about these vlogs, and do get involved and interact with us as well. We would love for a bit of a dialogue and a little bit of communication with you out there if you do want to take part. So that's what you can expect to see on the video content for An Englishman in San Diego in the next couple of months. You can check out all of those in the To the Main Viewer category on the main website or on this YouTube channel. Do stick with us, do get in contact with us as well, interact, do put something down in the comments if there's anything you want us to cover in the vlogs, if there's any topics or subjects that you feel that we should be handling. If there's anything you'd like to ask, if it's your first time heading to Comic-Con, do let us know and we'll do our best to cover it in a future vlog. I think that's an interruption from one of my cats. Hello, Buzz. And I think that's a perfectly good sign for me to wrap this up. Come here, you. We'll see you soon.